What does this sweeping of Kansas City mean for the Chargers? How would you describe that?
You know, Kev, to be honest, it's pretty crazy because the Chargers have been like decimated with injuries. Like, if you look at this team, in my opinion, like there's no way they should have 10 wins right now, right? From everybody got hurt. Rashawn Slater, Joe Alt, Marion Hampton went down, for several weeks. Najee Harris went down. Khalil Mack went down for weeks. I mean, this team right now to have 10 wins is pretty crazy, to be honest.
It's so true, and that's really good perspective to have that they were able. I mean, the second you lose Slater, you're like, well, what are you going to be able to do? And then here we are. And Justin Herbert's now swept the Chiefs for the first time in his career. He was incredible, like lights out. Like when I'm watching those two games, and I was up close and personal for the one in Sao Paulo, it was like the Chargers don't give an F about the Chiefs. We are going to give it to you. And we're going to give you, like, sometimes, like, that narrative of, like, and you're the perfect person to talk about lights out and punching and stuff like that. But, like, everyone's like, the Chiefs get your best punch. They get your best. I don't always know if I believe that because I don't know if I see that differently. But when the Chargers face the Chiefs, I feel the best punch. Like, I feel them come together and be like, we hate you. We want to crush it. What do moments like this do for Justin Herbert?
I mean, Justin Herbert, we talk about his arm and the things he can do throwing a football down the field, but he might be the toughest quarterback in the National Football League, because he's playing with not only that hand injury, but he has other injuries also that he's been battling through during the season. And the fact that, by the way, that surgery that he had on his hand, I had something very similar to that when I had to get a couple pins put in my wrist on my hand. And they put a hard cast on, and I played. We had a bye week. Crazy enough, we had a bye week right after I broke my hand, and I played 4 or 5 games with pins in my wrist, and it is gruesome. It is brutal. So for him to go out there and still find ways to win, whether it's using his legs or just toughing it out. I know that Matthew Stafford, in my opinion, he should be the MVP as of right now, man. But the way Justin Herbert is playing and what he's playing through is just pretty incredible.
Yeah, it was a total beatdown of the Chiefs. Like, as a fan watching, being there in person in Sao Paulo, and then on my couch, I was like, they are just both sides of the ball beating, laying guys out. Like, Rashee Rice probably doesn't feel good this morning. Like, it's all still a thing. It's very cool to watch. It's very cool to watch, and you had a smile on your face about it. And then I was just thinking right now, like, man, I wonder where Jim Harbaugh is in the Coach of the Year odds. And I think they're trying to whip it up in the control room. I'm hearing we'll have it. But I have it right here, plus 10,000. Plus 10,000. Do we have to fix this award? How is he not? What is that?
Because I think that Shawne McVay obviously is going to be up there. You got I don't know who else is up the top of the charts, but for them to still be finding ways to win football games with what they're working with, Jim Harbaugh has to be up there in that the coaching category, because most people would have tucked it in. To be honest, most teams would have said, "Hey, we don't have all our things. Let's start getting ready for next year." That's not the attitude with this team. In fact, like, the defense found ways to stand up. They guys in the running back position now who we didn't know really before the season know about are now stepping up and possible winning Pro Bowl votes. So. Those guys are just finding ways to win football games, and that kind of makes them scary. And Justin Herbert, man, he's taking a beating. He's getting beat up back there, and he's finding ways to go out and do things to put these guys in position to win football games.
Vrabel's the favorite, and then there's 9 coaches before you get to our guy, Jim. If he's not even in the running, I think there's something wrong here.
Yeah, I think this is off. And I don't want to take anything away from, Sean Payton, who's turned Broncos around, or Ben Johnson, who literally makes me want to run through a wall. Like, that dude, man, he gets me hyped up. And Shawne McVay, Shawne McVay, is he up there? No, he's not even up there. So, but yeah, Jim Harbaugh. I mean, most coaches at this point, if you lose, arguably probably the 2 best tackles in football, if you lose both the best tackles, and you still find a way to go out there and get it done, I mean, that's incredible.
That is incredible. I can't believe that he's that far down the odds. I want to go to 4 here. Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
That's all I have for you.
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers.
Okay, so Okay. So this is the funny part. So me, Philip, and Drew Brees, we were together for Antonio Gates' Hall of Fame induction in Canton. So we all talking, and we talked about a good hour. And Phil is just as animated and passionate when he started talking football as much as possible. But I noticed something when I was talking to him. It was like he was talking about a lot in the present. He wasn't talking about anything in the past. And it was always a little bit weird to me. And I'm sitting and listening to him talking. And I'm like, this is okay. He's talking about some stuff in the present. But it started to click to me. I don't know if people remember, but when the 49ers were on their run and they had some quarterbacks to go down, I tweeted out a couple years ago that Phil was thinking about coming back and playing, and everybody just looked at me like I was crazy when I posted it. And here he is. It was just an opportunity situation where he was always ready. And I'm not shocked that how he played. I mean, I thought he was going to play even better than what he did. So I'm not shocked at all.
What do you mean you thought he was going to play better than he did? He's a 44-year-old off a couch who throws a touchdown pass to Josh Downs. What do you mean better? You thought he wasn't going to throw that classic Phillip pick at the end?
No, I mean, Phil's good for a pick. He's going to do that. That's just because he's so damn competitive. But I thought he was going to throw for 250 at least or close to it because it's just his knowledge of football and his competitive nature. And I was more surprised that they were, because he knows that playbook in and out. Same coaching staff, same playbook. We was talking to the coaches probably weekly or daily about just offensive schemes and what would they run and what would they do. So he was ready to jump in there and get it done. And I thought it was a hell of a performance for a guy that come off the street at 44 years old.
So he starts next week. Steichen's already said that. It's prime time. It's the Niners. No Fred Warner, that helps. Knowing Phillip like you do, what happens in this week? Now he's there for a full week. Now he's the man. He's not. There's no hoopla. There's no what does having Phil in the building this week lead to for this team?
I don't know if everybody caught when he scored that touchdown. They had the camera to kind of zoom in and they showed the sideline when he scored in that play.
Yep.
And how everybody was going crazy.
There you go.
That is what Phil did for all of us, right? Like he when he gets excited and he gets really animated and his passion for the game, like he gets everybody going. And you always feel like you got a shot to win. You always, when you walk on the field on Sundays, you like we could win today, because he just makes you feel that way. So I'm sure these guys are feeling extremely confident going into this game that they go out and pull it off. And by the way, I think that if they were playing someone else other than the Seattle Seahawks, one of the best teams in football, they probably would have won that game.
Well, they would have won it if he didn't throw an interception with 18 seconds to go in desperation mode.
Well,
why does he do that?
He had to. First of all, that was like one of 3 passes that he threw over 20 yards. First of all. But it was one of those situations where he had to do it, because they had to get a field goal range with that much time left. And but I would say this: I believe that Phil's going to look much better this week than he did then, because he just didn't throw the ball down the field enough.
So you think that's what they'll do now? Do you think? Yeah, I was going to ask you, what area, when I'm watching this game against the Niners, where will I see the most change or improvement? You think he's going to hit Michael Pittman for a little deeper stuff this week? You think? Yeah.
I mean, definitely more passes over 20 yards. But also, too, he's working on 3 or 4 days' notice, getting in the scheme. And I know he understood, he knows the playbook in and out. But now he feels comfortable enough to throw those deep passes, to get guys one-on-one. You can tell they were very, very conservative when they were running the ball. They ran the ball a lot of to the tight end. It was out patterns and quick stuff, getting the ball out of his hands. But even some of those throws he made was still accurate. That arm is still there. Yeah.
Everyone that I talk to about it that knows him, and I've hit up like everybody, everyone's like, I was worried. I was really worried. Were you worried?
Yeah. Especially when he went down and he got up looking like he was 44 years old, trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. I wasn't necessarily worried that he was going to get injured or hurt. That wasn't the thing. I was worried because the next day in the morning when you wake up and that adrenaline wears off.
Okay.
Those muscles that you haven't used, those body parts that you haven't used, that next day, and any former player can tell you that when you wake up, all hell breaks loose. Like you're waking up out of the bed, things that you didn't even know was there, like a little corner, your hip is sore, you don't know what happened, the back of your neck is stiff, and you just, it's brutal. So I was more worried about the next day and how his body will react from the game, not necessarily what happened in the game. He's going to be able to take hits. He's going to be able to deal.
Yeah, that's what the Toradol is for.
Yeah, and then when that Toradol wears off, it's no fun.
Yeah, but he seems to be up for the challenge. I liked his post-game speech. Was all about just like not having fear. It's like so Phillip Rivers it hurts. I actually find it quite inspiring. But does that do anything to you? Are you like, I'm 41, I can go out there and sack him? Does that do anything to you?
You know what? Probably until I would say 2021, 2022, I probably could have still went out there and played if I wanted to. But a lot of guys don't stop playing because they can't play anymore. It's a recovery. You can't recover anymore. Like we played on Sunday and a game was Thursday. There would be no way in hell that I could get on the field because my body just wouldn't recover fast enough. But he was the best option. And I know I hear people out there saying, what are they doing or what are they thinking and making a big deal about it. If this was the third or fourth game of the year, then yeah, you go get somebody else that's younger, more athletic, more healthier. But when they're in contention to possibly go to the playoffs with only a couple games left in the season,
you gotta win out.
You gotta win out. You bring somebody else in. You bring somebody in that knows the playbook, that's familiar with the system. So this wasn't really a shot at anybody else on the street who's probably better than he is at this point. It was just like, man, we got a couple games left. We gotta get in the playoffs. We don't have time to change the entire playbook and figure this thing out. We got to get the person who knows the best. I
think like they were really conservative. Now that you're saying this, obviously like Seattle's defense is really good. Of course they're going to play conservative. They want to keep their 44-year-old guy upright. This week against the Niners, no Bosa, no Fred Warner. I bet you they open things up a little bit. I just asked for his line. His passing line is 147.5 on FanDuel Sportsbook. Over? Oh,
yeah, over. Over for sure. I mean, two of those passes, I thought one could have been a pass interference from there was Jonathan Taylor, one of the longer passes that he threw. You got to think he's going to complete two deep balls down the field. I mean, just those two alone would have put him, over that number last week. So you got to think that it's going to be at least 147. I think he throws for over 200 for sure. Your
team is your former team, the Bills, going up against Hall of Famer Joe Thomas's team, the Browns, in Cleveland. Fun game. Myles Garrett might get the sack record. He's 1.5. He might get to Josh Allen. We'll see. Does this defense with Buffalo, I keep saying they're going to the Super Bowl. They better. No Burrow, no Chiefs. It's your year. You better cash in. And all I keep hearing from Buffalo, all the way, we don't have the defense. We don't have the defense. Does this team not have the defense to win a Super Bowl?
Yeah, they do, but it's just the inconsistency of which teams show up. Like, they'll go out there and look like a Super Bowl team, but then they'll come back a week later and you're like, what are they doing, right? And you're right, Kay. Like one of the biggest things is timing and situation. With no Burrow there and that division kind of looking other than the Patriots looking like they are, they have a real shot and opportunity. And sometimes that's all you need. You need circumstances. And this year they got a good circumstance. And also that 4-year, you got a good 4-year window to go out and win it all. And they have to, because let me tell you, I mean, Miami's going to get, they're going to bring another quarterback in at some point, right? That division is going to get better. And that's what's happened when we talk about the Chargers. It's not that the Chiefs are just so bad. It's not like they're terrible. It's just that other teams, Denver got better. The Chargers got better. The division ultimately gets better over time. And that's what's going to happen to the Bills. The Patriots had their down years. Now they're back.
Don't you let the Patriots go farther than you, Bill. Like, is this their window? I have this. If they don't win this year, I don't know. If I'm a fan, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. What are we doing here? What do you mean we don't have the defense? Like, this is our time. Our time is right now. And to your inconsistency, I mean, listen to this. They had 3 sacks in the second half I thought the second half was brilliant against New England. I thought they looked so great. They had 3 sacks in the second half of that win over New England last week. Only 3 sacks in their previous 5 games combined. That does not a consistent defense make. You're right.
No, and that's the biggest problem. You have to go out there and be consistent. When they're consistent, for sure they're a Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
But you can't show up one week and disappear for 2 or 3. It's just not going to get there.
Okay, I want to talk about what's going on because Lights Out has it's always something with you. The mogul comes in, he always graces our presence when there's something crazy. Lights Out has a multi-year agreement with ESPN for fans in Latin America. What is happening?
Yeah, we just announced our partnership, multi-year partnership with Lights Out Extreme Fighting ESPN Latin America. And, look, Kay, every time we talk, right, like our goal is, I always say we need to be global. We need to be seen. We feel like we have the next up and coming, superstars of the of MMA. And, pretty soon we got more announcements. We just, this big company stuff. It's a lot of work, but that just shown what our growth and what we've done. We have some of the best talent in the world, and it's about time that we got a chance to put them on a global platform. And hopefully we got other regions, and we're able to announce more regions here soon.
So ESPN's getting exclusive regional rights to broadcast events in English, in Spanish, and Portuguese. Like you're saying, going global. You have an audience, you're going for it and providing it for them in Latin America. That is so freaking cool. And I love it. It's countries also. It's South America. It's the Caribbean. So you're doing the most, which we absolutely love. Always great to talk to you. Who you got, Jake Paul or Joshua?
I like Jake a lot, man. I want to send him a card or something like that. Like Anthony Joshua. I don't see how Jake. It's the size difference. It's not even the skill at this point. It's just the size difference. Huge. And Anthony Joshua, I met him in person. This dude is big. He's my size is boxing.
Yeah.
And nothing against Jake. I think Jake's done an amazing job for the sport of boxing and the doors he's opened up. But he's about to. I mean, this is going to be brutal, I think, in my opinion. It's
like a knockout brutal? Because they can both knock each other out, probably, huh?
Yeah, no, I think it's. I mean, it's not going to distance for sure, and I don't think that Jake is big enough to knock out Anthony Joshua. Maybe hurt him.
I like that he's fighting him though, because I feel like you can say all these things about who he's fought in his past and what his record is, and like this is a bona fide. This is a champ you're facing.
Yeah, it's one of the things that Jake had to do at this point, right? Because there's so much that you're fighting somebody small like that Gervonta Davis fight. I thought was just ridiculous to be fighting him. But at this point, I think that win, lose, or draw, Jake going in and fighting Anthony Joshua says a lot about what he feel about himself, and also if he goes in there and just puts up some kind of resistance, right? Like if he goes in there and just look decent, he's going to gain so much more respect than going out and fighting one of these little guys. So I'm hoping the best for him. I hope it's a good fight.